If you're monitoring your blood sugar, whether that's with a continuous glucose monitor or a fingerstick glucose meter, there are 7 common mistakes that may be causing unneeded frustration. I'm Julie Montgomery. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I specialize in prediabetes and insulin resistance. Let's talk about the biggest blood sugar monitoring mistakes I see in the trenches. Mistake number 1. Looking at single numbers instead of patterns. This is the most common mistake by far. You check your glucose, you see a number, and immediately your brain asks, is this good or bad? But one number by itself tells you almost nothing. Blood sugar is dynamic. It changes minute to minute based on food, stress, sleep, movement, hormones, and even how you were feeling emotionally at the time you checked. If you're finger sticking, this can feel especially confusing because you're only seeing snapshots. And if you're using a CGM, it can be overwhelming because you're seeing everything. In both cases, what actually matters are patterns. How does your blood sugar respond to the same meal over time? How quickly does it come back down? Does it behave differently on high stress days versus calmer days? When you react emotionally to individual readings, you miss the story your body is telling over time. Blood sugar data is meant to be observed, not judged. And when people fixate on single numbers, it usually leads straight into the next mistake. Mistake number 2, testing too often or at the wrong times. More data does not automatically mean better data. I see people checking constantly, before meals, after meals, between meals, late at night, first thing in the morning, sometimes dozens of times each day. If you're finger sticking, that can mean sore fingers and constant second guessing. And if you're using a CGM, it often means watching the graph all day long. And instead of feeling informed, people feel anxious. There are times when blood sugar checks are useful, and there are times when checking just creates noise. For many people, the most helpful windows are before eating, 1 to 2 hours after eating, and then first thing in the morning before eating. Checking every few minutes doesn't improve understanding. It increases stress, and stress alone can raise blood sugar. So if monitoring has started to make you tense or hypervigilant, that's a sign it's time to take a step back and be more intentional. And that constant checking often feeds into a bigger fear, which is mistake number 3, assuming every spike is bad. This one causes a lot of unnecessary panic. Blood sugar is supposed to rise after you eat. That's normal physiology. When we eat, our bodies convert food into glucose, which is the main fuel your cells run on. So a rise after eating is expected. A spike is not automatically a problem. What matters is how high it goes, how long it stays elevated, and how well it comes back down. If your blood sugar rises and then returns to baseline in a reasonable amount of time, that's often a sign your body is doing exactly what it should. But when people fear every rise, they start making reactive decisions. They might undereat or cut foods unnecessarily, avoid carbs altogether, or just stop eating enough overall. And that often backfires, leading to binging, maybe even low blood sugar, or more instability. Let me say this clearly. The goal is not a flat line. The goal is resilience and recovery. But once fear takes over, people usually narrow their focus even further. And mistake number 4, ignoring non-food factors is a big one. Food tends to get blamed for everything. But blood sugar is influenced by far more than what's on your plate. Stress can raise glucose even if you didn't eat anything. Poor sleep can change your insulin response the next day. Hard workouts, illness, inflammation, hormones, caffeine, dehydration, all of these things matter. If you're using a CGM, this is where people often say, I didn't eat anything. Why is my blood sugar so high? And if you're finger sticking, this is where numbers feel unpredictable. This is why blood sugar monitoring works best when you zoom out. Ask better questions. What was my sleep like last night? Was today stressful? Did I exercise hard? Maybe too hard? Am I getting sick or am I recovering from an injury? Very often, the answer to a glucose concern isn't dietary at all. Mistake number 5, changing everything at once. This is where good intentions destroy good data. People start monitoring their blood sugar and immediately overhaul their diet, their exercise routine, their supplements, their meal timing. Everything changes at once. Then they look at the data and think, I have no idea what's working. If you change 5 variables at the same time, you can't tell what's actually helping or hurting. Blood sugar monitoring works best when you treat it like an experiment. One change at a time. One meal, one habit, one adjustment. That's how cause and effect becomes clear. Otherwise, you're just reacting instead of learning. And this becomes especially important when someone starts using a CGM, which leads us to mistake number 6, applying a CGM and then immediately changing your diet. If you're using a CGM, this one is big. I see this constantly. Someone applies a CGM and immediately cuts carbs, skips meals, eats less, or starts restricting foods before they've learned anything about their baseline. The problem is simple. You never see how your body actually responds to your normal routine. Without a baseline, you have nothing to compare against. The first phase of CGM use should be observation, not correction. Eat the way you normally eat, live the way you normally live, watch what happens for at least a few days. That baseline data is incredibly valuable. When people skip this step, they become reactive and anxious instead of informed and empowered. A CGM is a very powerful learning tool, but only if you let it teach you first. Mistake number 7, expecting blood sugar data to do the work for you. Blood sugar monitoring is one of the most powerful tools we have for encouraging change in people with prediabetes or insulin resistance, but it's not a quick fix. Wearing a CGM or checking your blood sugar with a glucose meter does not automatically change anything. The data doesn't lower your blood sugar, it doesn't fix your meals, it doesn't change your habits. You do. Blood sugar monitoring is information, and information only helps if you're willing to act on it. So think about it this way. You wouldn't order lab work from your doctor if you had no intention of doing something with the results. And blood sugar data is really no different. Its real value comes from asking better questions. What should I adjust? What's worth changing? What's no longer helping me? People who struggle with monitoring often want answers without action. People who succeed are willing to experiment, make small changes, and learn over time. Monitoring works best when you treat it like a tool, not a solution. Look, blood sugar monitoring should not be stressful. Used well, it builds confidence. Used poorly, it creates fear and overwhelm. If monitoring is making you feel worse instead of better, that's a sign something needs to change. Not that you're necessarily doing it wrong. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.